And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sling'N Podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent.
And joining us back again after about a year is one of our best guests, who Kent and I both consider a friend and a mentor, Scott Jedi Jedlinski. Jedi, welcome back to the show, man.
How you guys doing? Good to be back.
Good. So, Scott, for those that may not have seen the original episode and those who are new to the show, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself?
So my name is Scott Jedlinski. My nickname is Jedi. Not because I'm a Star Wars freak, but because the Koreanized and the Polish last name confuse people, so they can't pronounce Jedlinski. So that's my nickname, right? What I'm known for is my company, ModernSamuraiProject, where I specialize in the teaching of efficiency and performance with the red dot pistol. And I teach a regular class, I teach an instructor class, and it's kind of blown up over the past couple of years, and I am teaching 85 classes this year.
Wow. That is a hell of a schedule, man.
Yeah.
2021 is going to be booming for you.
Yeah. And, it's I tell people to get out of the way now. If you want to host me, you better reach out to my wife, Beverly, at ModernSamuraiProject.com, because 2022 is almost all the way booked, and 2023 is half booked. So good times, very blessed. Love my job. It's the best job in the world, and couldn't be happier.
That's awesome, man. It does me good to hear you doing so well.
I appreciate that.
So, but with that going on, Kent, you want to touch base with everybody, let them know what's new in your world?
Shooting the guns, raising the kids, doing the things, tons of private lessons over here, man. The new folks with the guns need the help, so that's what we're doing, and we're doing a lot of it. We're very busy with that as well. 85 classes in a different way, 2 hours at a time, right? But it's going real well, and it's been nice to see such a very diverse group of people coming into the shooting sports, and if I can help be their entree into it, let's do it right, and it's gone real well. So
there you go, man.
That's what I got going on.
Awesome. So real quick, folks, before we get too deep into the weeds here, I do want to let you all know that, of course, as usual, we do have all of Scott's links for social media, his website, and so forth, as well as a link to Gray Hive, where you can also find amazing content from Scott, all posted in the description down below. Of course, there's going to be his calendar of events, his contact information, and so forth, if you are so inclined to reach out and host him. Now, Scott, I do want to take a moment to ask, because you have clearly gotten so much busier recently, and especially with the chaos that 2020 brought us. I do recall historically that you have offered at least a hour-long or a very brief web-based session. Are you still offering those?
I'm not. I don't have the time, guys. I'm home for a day or a day and a half. 2 days is very rare to be home, and when I'm home now, it's for the wife. You know what I mean? If I'm traveling, I'm on the range all day, and I'm just smoked, right? What I am going to be doing, though, is once I have some time to figure this out, when my wife Bev doesn't yell at me for piling on more projects, is as I develop the affiliated instructor program, I'm going to have about 5 or 6 of those guys where I'm going to kind of be the agent. And if people want to do it, I'm going to field it out to affiliated instructors that I know can do just as good of a job, right? So, yeah, people that, follow the ethos, and I know will do a good job doing it. So that should be coming. But as of right now, I just don't have time to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, bro, that's a sound business model, I think. And, it's a great way to get vetted content out there, and as well, even some young and up and coming instructors, some time behind the screen and the camera to spread the gospel that is Jedi.
Yeah. Yep.
From the book of Red Dot, no less.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. So let's see what else we got going on with Mr. Jedi. So besides shooting instruction, if you guys have been living under a rock, Jedi's pretty well known for pushing jiu-jitsu. and a lot of the foundation of his training model and so forth comes from that style of jiu-jitsu seminar kind of a thing.
Yep.
So, when you hear the moniker, the Modern Samurai, that whole thing, like, there's some serious truth to that. It's a martial path for Jedi. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So everyone asks me about that, right? And they, I get some trolls here or there, and I kind of get it, right? If they didn't have any meaning behind it, it'd be like, super cheesy, you know what I mean? But the key word in there is project, right? So we're all projects. No matter how good we are, we're always trying to get better, right? And people always ask, well, bro, you're half Korean, you're not Japanese, what the fuck, right? The Japanese culture, especially coming from jiu-jitsu, which was originated by, the samurai, yada, 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 has had a deep, profound effect on me ever since I was a kid and first read the Book of Five Rings, on through jiu-jitsu and, being a kid of the 80s and being an adult in the 90s, all the cool samurai movies and stuff like that, So the samurai thing, right? There were three things, and you may or may not agree with them. Don't troll me on the internet if you don't agree with these bases. I really don't care, right? But you had three main tenets of Buddha for the samurai, right? You had tools, weapons, right? You had empty hand, right? And then you had transport, which was, horseback riding, stuff like that. And all three kind of interlapped at any given time. Those were the main things that they focused on, right? And their ideas of perfection and how they developed them, right? So when Modern Samurai Project first came along, the story of it was this, right? So I was talking to my buddy, and he may or may not like me because he's a raging liberal, but I don't care, right? So my buddy Greg Higgins, right, I went to high school with. And did either of you used to skateboard or skate when you were a kid?
Tried.
Okay. Did you ever hear the skater Mike Vallely?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know his? So he had his decks, and he had the mammoth symbol. The woolly mammoth was always his symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Every single graphic you've ever seen on Mike Vallely skateboards were drawn by Greg Higgins, my buddy, right, that I went to high school with. Okay. So we're sitting around, and I'm just talking to him for some reason, right? And he's like, dude, you're fucking awesome, man. Because, like, you're doing the jiu-jitsu and you're shooting guns and you're really into cars and all this stuff, man. It's like, bro, you're like this modern samurai project. I went, excuse me? Right? And he said, yeah, man. I go, bro, I've been looking for a name, because at the beginning it was just like this enthusiast, it was just going to be an enthusiast type of blog or some shit like that as I'm training and, wrapping in firearms and cars and blah, 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 and jujitsu, right? So I go, hey, dude, can you make a logo for me? He's like, hell yeah. So that's where the logo came from, right? Everybody asked me what the H2H arms means on my patch, right? And the H2H means hand to hand, and the arms are firearms, right? And funny thing is, nobody wants to take jujitsu lessons from me, and I get it. That's okay. Everybody wants to go to the pew pew, right? But it's kind of a legacy thing with me. The original patch had transport on the bottom because I was really into cars, but that doesn't make any sense for the business, so I dropped that part, right? Sadly, we are going to see that era of that logo come to an end in the next 2 months as we launch the new, simpler logo. So. Yep. So good time. So that's where the name comes from, right?
Awesome.
Yep.
I don't think we got the origin story out of you the first go around. See, we're doing a better job podcasting.
Yeah. There you go.
Better podcast.
There you go. Yep. So that's the name.
That's awesome, man. The best questions don't come from us. They come from the chat. And when Jedi's here, there's always an active chat. We got to love that stuff. So Corey wants to know, how does BJJ help or translate into firearms training? How do the two mesh?
Yep. So great question, right? So especially with the dot, right? Because we're going back to the way the body naturally processes information, right? The way we process information all the time is one focal plane, looking at the target or whatever we're looking at, right? And we put these bumpy things on a semi-automatic pistol, and then we go 3 focal planes, and all that stuff's got to change for some reason. And we do goofy things to kind of negotiate that, right? So now we get back to one focal plane shooting, and then we can go back to the way the body originally works, right? There is no art on the face of the earth, or no sport, no exercise that teaches you how the body works more than jiu-jitsu, right? It teaches you that your eyes determine your posture, right? And your posture determines your strength, speed, and mobility. It teaches you about things like leverage and pendulums and things of that nature, right? So the way I teach recoil control is wholly based in jiu-jitsu, which is based in architecture, right? When people go, oh, you find the dot by using your support hand pinky, that's ridiculous. And then I give them an engineering lesson about controlling the force with the furthest lever, right? Well, you can either be an architect and learn that, and then not apply it to firearms. I can't tell you how many architects or engineers have come to my class and went, oh my God, I've never thought about that. You're right. Holy
Dude,
shit.
that was even a oh shit moment for me. Like when Kent and I took your class last year, there was that, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. If you've never had a chance to get out and train with Jedi, first of all, what are you even doing with your life? Second of all, while you're there, while you're watching, the little segments of one-on-one fine-tuning that Jedi does in his approaches, watch the faces of your classmates.
Yeah.
Everyone there will be like, oh, no shit.
Yep.
It's amazing to watch. It's absolutely
amazing.
When
we do the little exercise, we won't give it away about how much your eyes determine your posture, your strength, and your stability and things like that. It's immediate buy-in. Because I kind of allude that you don't know how your body works. And then I do that exercise and everyone's like, oh my God, he is a wizard. Right? Now I know why he has the nickname. And then it's immediate buy-in. And then we go deeper and deeper and deeper. Right? These days I'm scolding everybody. I always ask my class, so who here does jiu-jitsu? Usually 2 people raise their hand. And I ask the rest of the audience, what the fuck are you waiting for? Seriously, everybody out in the audience who doesn't do jiu-jitsu, what are you waiting for? We laugh at you mortals, right? If you don't do jiu-jitsu, know that there are people walking out there that can choke you unconscious in 10 seconds, can break your arm, your wrist, separate your knees, and not even break a sweat. So when you get done with your firearms training, which you should after you take my class, right? And you get your medical training, right? Start doing jiu-jitsu now, right? Or be worried for the rest of your life because you're immortal. So sorry, I'll get off on a very short high horse now.
No, man, this is your high horse. This is your episode. What are you talking about? Say it. Do your thing.
So getting back to that, right? You just learn how your body works, right? You learn about the principles of leverage and efficiency and things of that nature. And every way I make somebody better, all of that came from jiu-jitsu. As a matter of fact, a lot of things I learned in firearm classes, I had to I'm allowed to swear on this thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I had to completely unfuck myself, right? And I unfucked it by going back to my roots in jiu-jitsu because the body works the way the body works. Fighting is fighting, right? And if it applies in jiu-jitsu, it should apply in firearms. Hard stop. And if you think it works in firearms, right, but it doesn't work in jiu-jitsu, you need to start thinking about yourself. For example, locked out elbows, right? We've been taught to lock out the elbows, right? I even have had black belts go, yeah, bro, lock out your elbows when you shoot. And I'll go, professor, do you ever give a straight arm when you're rolling? No. Then why would you do it if you shot a gun? What? Marines? What? Stuff like that. And then you even see those light bulbs popping. And then they realize everything is jiu-jitsu. Everything is jiu-jitsu, right? So that's where I come from when I teach. And it seems to work immediately for people. So
that's awesome. It's nice that Corey's jumping in there. Dude, get on the range, Corey. It's time to let's get to some classes, bro. He's doing like a PhD dissertation or something real with his life. So
nice.
I suppose we'll let him slide. So I don't know, MG. I guess I'll hit this one, but I'll kind of preach it up a little bit for him. Social media firearms expert pretenders. What are your feelings on such people?
Define a pretender.
Yeah, right.
Ask him to give a name.
Yeah, man, hit us with a name. That's a legit point.
is if he's not IG famous, nobody's going to give a shit for him if he calls somebody out. But I don't.
Right.
What's an IG pretender? You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know.
They're going to right off the bat, they're going to name two people. And depending on who he names, it'll either I'll upset some people or I'll agree with some people. So who's an IG pretender? Let me know.
Yeah.
And we'll answer that.
That's legit. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'll touch that one just a little bit. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people who are just putting in work and using social media as their own personal accountability coach to put stuff up. I'll put myself in that camp, right?
Sure.
When it goes well, I put it up. When it goes to shit, I put it up, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I've seen you do that.
You know, so there's that version of it. And then there's the version of it that is super polished with no failures ever shown and no, knowing MG, I think that's probably where he's going with this. Just it looks like it's all a first take and there's probably a midget off screen hitting a steel gong instead of actual hits on steel because you can't see the
sure. Maybe.
thing. And maybe there is, or maybe that dude's just a wizard. What I would say though,
maybe that dude can really actually shoot really, really well, and because he's an annoying, skinny millennial, you want to hate him for any reason. But maybe deep down inside, that dude can fucking push your shit in with a gun. Maybe, right? I mean, if we want to be brave, we can just name him, and people are going to be very surprised by my response.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're talking about. Yeah,
let's name him.
You're talking about True Exodus, right?
Go ahead, Lucas Botkin.
Yeah, Lucas. Yeah,
right? Everybody goes ape shit over this fucking guy. Who gives a shit, right? Because there's two things about Lucas Botkin. I'm not defending him, right? I've never met the guy. I have friends that are friends with him. We all have our faults, right? Personally, that homophobic stuff he put on, well, that's why I don't particularly care for the guy, right? But people arguing that dude can't shoot, you're full of shit. Hard stop, you're full of shit. He can add frames in and he's still faster than you. Okay? So if we're just talking about shooting and we're not talking about, his family background, he doesn't have any Ellie or Mill experience, but he likes talking about tactics. You want to talk about that? 100%. I don't agree with anything. He should shut his mouth as far as tactics. But you saying he can't shoot and what he does is fake because you think he cuts frames? Come on, man. Get over yourself. All right? And if you're looking for guidance to social media from a skinny jean wearing 110-pound millennial with a high-pitched voice, who's the dumbass? You are.
I love it.
You are. On the other hand, nobody here can tell me they have not gone to T-Rex, watched a video and went, fuck, and were not entertained. If you tell me that, you're a liar. Stop. You're a liar. Okay? Now, is it true that he goes to competitions and if he had to pull an 80-pound duffel bag up already, just didn't do it and he quit? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not his dad. You can do what the hell you want to do, right? But if anybody can show me how to do something better, I'm going to listen to that dude. It doesn't mean I have to like him, right? That's the problem we have in the firearms industry. And I'm going to go off on a tangent because I'm drinking Wisconsin beer right now. It's delicious.
Hit it, man.
Right?
Hit it.
Here's the deal, man. Stop judging on whether or not a class is good based on the instructor's personality, right? It's better if he's a nice guy or if he's a likable person, right? But too often in this industry, it's like, oh my God, that guy is an amazing American. He's done all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Awesome, bro. What'd you learn in class? I learned that I need follow through and mindset to win in the fight. Fuck yeah. How do you practice that? Work harder? I don't fucking know. But hey, man, if you just wanted to go and touch the magic, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out, right? On the other hand, we judge annoying people that can perhaps teach us a lot. And we ignore them because they're annoying or they're not the cool hip thing or blah, blah, blah. Dude, I don't give a shit, man. If you're an amazing American but can't teach me anything about shooting, just stop talking to me about shooting. I'll have dinner and a beer with you, and I'll listen to your GWAT stories because they're awesome. Thank you for your service, right? But don't talk to me about shooting, right? On the other hand, if you're less than popular or you don't share my beliefs or something like that, and you're kind of an annoying dude, but you can teach me about something about shooting, let's do this right now. Not going to have dinner with you. I'm not going to have beer with you. And I'm not going to defend you on the internet. Just show me what you need to show me, and let's keep on going. Does that make sense? Now, the best is you got a dude who's an awesome American that can shoot, that can teach you to do shit. That's who you give your money to. That is who you give your money to, right? I'm going to try and turn that because that light's kind of annoying in the background. Sorry about that. So does that make sense? Another rant. I'm kind of a rant.
It's funny. I was going to do your own thing to you and give you a get it off your chest segment.
Mm-hmm. Really, that's my life.
I love it. So we're just going to keep on that train. Rich, who will be in at least one of the 2 classes that I host for you coming up here in PA.
Nice.
Wants to talk about MOA, size, RMR, SRO, brightness settings, all that good stuff.
Okay. So let's take the baseline, right? So generally these days, the range goes between 1 and 6. Okay. I like between 2 and 5. Why? In the methodology that I teach with starting off with a 10-yard zero and then confirming out to 25, right? If you have a 6 MOA dot, it completely encompasses the 1 inch square. You can't see shit, right? That doesn't mean you can't do good work with the 6 MOA, right? It's just in my methodology, it's just a little bit more difficult, right? And I don't think you get that much. It's like, well, it helps me find the dot better. Use my technique and the size of the dot doesn't really matter, okay? Then you go to the other side of the spectrum of 1, and 1 is amazing if you shoot B8s, right? It's amazing if you do square range stuff. The difficulty that a lot of people have software-wise is if they're shooting in recoil and transitioning to a far target, finding that little 1 MOA dot in recoil in transition is a little bit difficult, right? Where between 2 and 5, those problems kind of go away, right? The other hand about that, is now, the craze with Hollow Sun and the 32 MOA option, right? The EOTech like reticle. And then, hey, man, if you want to experiment and it works for you based on a metric, you knock yourself out. But as your skill level grows, I firmly believe that for every reason the 32 MOA is awesome, the 2 MOA is even more awesomer, right? Now, we have our very good mutual friend, right? And people bring this up that Tim Herron, when he shoots carry optics and he shoots the dot, he shuts off the 2 MOA and just shoots the 32, right? Let me remind the audience, you are not Tim Herron.
Yeah. In case you needed a reminder.
Right? You're not Tim Herron, right? And
if there was ever a truer word spoken on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm very close friends with Tim Herron. I'm very close friends, with a lot of upper, I spent a week every year with Bob Vogel at Shooter Symposium. You know what I mean? And the list goes on and on with amazing shooters, right? These guys' surplus of skill is so high, they can get away with shooting the 32 MOA, right? Because their index is good, and their technique is good, and their index is good, right? I'm not saying don't do it. I like options. I like the fact that you can shut off that feature, right? Could I get away with that? I could probably shoot a whole class with my 32 MOA circle on and do all right. I just find it cluttering and annoying. If you don't, knock yourself out. But don't tell me that you can hit a target at 10 and 15 and 25 yards. All of a sudden, it's the best thing. You don't know that yet. So experiment with it. Knock yourself out. It's just not for me. If you come to my class and that's all you do, I don't care. Just hit the metric. Hit the metric. Okay?
So
and that everybody that only shoots 32 MOA, they fail my standards miserably. So
I'm going to circle you back because you just encapsulated it. But something you said resonates very well around here, which is works for me based on a metric.
Right.
I hear a lot of the first part. I hear a lot of the works for me. I don't hear a lot of the metric. Right. So you you are certainly responsible in my shooting for helping me tie things to metrics, and guys and gals out here need that. So, if your whole version of this is, well, I did this in what I always do. So I went to the range, I did the thing I always do, and this worked better for me doing the thing I always do, but I didn't put it on a timer, and I didn't look at an accuracy metric, and I didn't whatever, and I just feel like that worked better. That's not what we're really talking about. What we're talking about is the ability to hit a time draw stroke metric, or hey, I'm going to put a no shit 1-inch paster on this target at 10 yards, and I want you to hit that thing.
Yeah.
That's a real honest to God metric. So, I mean, without giving away the farm, do you want to talk about some of the metrics you hold students to and your belt and your patch standards and stuff?
Yeah, I think everybody knows my standards, right?
Okay.
I kind of should go after right now, but I don't really care. I mean, my metrics are my standards are very, very high, but that's why you're coming to my class, so I can show you how to do it, show you the next level, and then show you what's possible. And if you so choose to take it to that level, hey man, good for you. But if you hit the national standards in my class, you are still one bad MFer, right? But what we got to do is we got to stop saying lazy stuff, okay? And we all do it, right? I've done it before, you know what I mean, on various things, but we got to stop saying lazy stuff. And lazy stuff is, it works for me. But what does that mean, bro? Because we're talking about guns, right? And shooting guns is serious business. So you're saying something. What does that mean, right? Well, that means I can get my gun out. I can hit the target, put my gun back without shooting myself or anybody else. Oh, I don't know. Well, if that's your metric, stop talking to me about shooting then. And please stop posting on the internet. Okay, right? On the other hand, if you go, hey, this works for me, I think in a violent encounter or in a match or something like that, the most I'm ever going to need is a 1.5 draw, and I do it based on this, and this, right? Active self-protection, police post, blah, 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 blah. Looked at all that. 1.5 is all I need. I got other stuff to work on, so I'm good with a 1.5 draw for concealment. And I will say, bravo, sir. Bravo. Right? Because for that guy, there's 1,000 guys that can do a sub-second draw, and they have no answer as to why they want to do a sub-second draw. Zero. They just want to do it for the grams, right? And God bless them. That shit's fun. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing. The slow guy that doesn't base it on a metric for a reason, and the super fast guy that wants to do something so fast on a metric but doesn't have a reason, they're the same guy on the opposite sides of the spectrum now. Have a reason for why you want to do it, right? Why do I think you should get down to a 1.25 or a 1? Let's say that you think a 1.25 is all you need in a violent encounter, right? But that's all you can do on a warm, sunny range with friends or a class in practice. You ain't getting that shit under pressure, under mortal pressure, or even match pressure. You're not getting it. So let's build up a surplus in practice. So if there is a degradation of skill under stress, man, you got that surplus, and you'll get the 1.25 under stress. That's why we work on that stuff, right? For example, right, if someone could do a 0.6 draw to an A zone in at 7 yards in 0.6, right? I would go, that's awesome. How do you do that? And they go, I just do it. I would walk off, right? Because that guy is just skilled, right? That guy's skilled. Like, I don't know if you guys are basketball fans, but remember Magic Johnson back in the day? Arguably one of the 10 best basketball players to ever walk the earth, right? When he went to go coach, it was a shit show, right? Because he doesn't know how, even though they're great athletes in the NBA, he doesn't understand how someone less than him on the athletic spectrum, how they don't know how to do what he does, so he can't coach it, right? And you have phenoms out there that can do stuff, but they can't coach it, right? That's awesome for them. It's not awesome for anybody else.
Well, it's like Little League T-ball, man. Everybody can hit, nobody can catch.
Right.
Right? There's a lot of people that can perform. There's very few people that can teach.
Mm-hmm.
Man, your Tennessee analogies are on point tonight, sir.
You're welcome.
Fucking
I'm more than I'm more than just a pretty face, Kent.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah, the posting on the internet thing. There's so much white noise out here as far as, you know, from the perspective of the guy who's bringing in the new shooters, who's helping the brandy new people. These poor people have to wade through so much garbage to get to anything halfway decent. And I was just
yeah, but why get frustrated at that? All those shitty instructors are doing is providing better clientele for you to fix their stuff.
No, for sure. I sit here and think like, dude, I don't go on car mechanic forums. So I don't know a fucking thing about car maintenance. So
neither do the guys on auto forums. They just talk shit.
Right.
Remember, I used to be a car enthusiast. Yeah. You think the trolling in the gun industry is bad? Hop on to little guys who have zero physical investment into what they're doing and put all of their humanity into a mechanical object. Right? Huh. Oh, yeah. It's horrible, bro. M3 forums. Anyway. Yeah, but so, you know, I used to get mad. Oh, that dude's printing on Brad information. And I used to get really mad. You know what those guys are? They're feeder farms for you.
Yep. Be
a good person, show them good technique, show them the why, and show them the metric, and they will come.
Yep.
They will come, right? Because here's the deal, man. If everybody was awesome, you wouldn't be working so much.
No, you're not wrong.
Think about that.
Yeah, you're right.
We can name off some other instructors where someone mentions their name and they're like, right? But how many of those students have you had in your class where you changed their lives?
Yeah, dude, it has been a year of that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
Hey, man, you're doing the Lord's work, brother. Right.
Yep.
And they just make you look that much better. Hopefully no one hurt themselves or hurt anyone else, accidentally in the interim.
Yep.
Right. But you just make that look much better. Right. So that whole thing, the Socrates riddle to the king, right? Who is better, your friend or your enemy? Well, my friend. Okay. Well, when your friend is in trouble, what do? You help them. So you lose wealth. When they need you and need your time, you give your time. So you lose time. When your enemy, what do you do with your enemy? Well, I vanquish my enemy. And then you take his riches. Yeah. So who's better, your friend or your enemy? I'm not saying what the answer is, right? You just need to think about it. Okay. Because think about this, right? We are very good friends, okay? And don't take this the wrong way and answer honestly, right? Has anybody come to you and said, man, I went to a Jedi class. Oh my God, he fucked me up. Ken, can you fix me?
No, that is
no.
Nope.
No, right?
Nope.
So thank God there are dudes out there with lesser skill than you that you can fix, right? And then it goes to different chains from there. So it all comes down to this, right? One of the best things I've ever heard Jared say is like, so in this industry, we make fun of people, right? It was a concealed carry class, and that dentist showed up in a plate carrier, right? And we would make fun of that guy. Wow, you fucking LARPing and blah, blah, blah. You know what Jared Reston's answer to that guy? He's a fucking American. He does what he wants.
I like it.
Think about it. Think about it. So before you get all upset and say tactical fantasy band camp and LARPing and all that other stuff, he's a goddamn American. He does what he wants. God bless the guy. Right? Now, if he showed up to my class in a plate carrier, I would simply ask him to take that off because we're going from appendix concealment. And that's really hard with the plate carrier on. Right?
Yeah.
And I go from there. And
bit of a hassle.
From there. Especially now. We got to stop. Right. We got to stop alienating other people within our industry. Can we correct? Yes. They're either going to listen or they're not going to listen. Right. You see how busy you are, bro. Right. You see how busy I am. There's a lot of people listening. Let's not concern ourselves too much with the people that aren't ready to listen now, because they'll just lead you down the path. Eventually they'll come around. They'll come around.
You know what? I needed to hear that today. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Rich is on a Marine tangent. Rich, come back to us from the Marines. He's talking about crew served weapons. And all. Chuck Pressburg is not here. This is Scott Jedlinski. Let's not talk about 240s and shit.
I don't even know if Chuck knows about like cruise missiles and shit.
I
Chuck
have
probably
no idea.
does. Chuck knows everything about that shit.
So while we're on the subject of Chuck, co-teaching, what are you guys calling that? You're co-branding some classes?
Collaboration.
Collaboration. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of those coming up with different folks this year, don't you?
Yeah. So for TTPOA, the Texas Tactical Police Officers Association, later on, spring, summer, something like that, I'm doing an urban gunfighter class with Dan Brokos. So it's a 3-day class. First day and a half is going to be me with my fundamentals and performance on the dot. And then the last day and a half is shooting in and around cars and urban obstacles with Dan. So super excited about that. It is TTPOA, so you have to be law enforcement in order to come to that class. Not Texas, not SWAT. You just have to be law enforcement. Okay. Jared Reston and I have had a collaboration class for the last 3 years running now. We have one in LA and one in Miami. The first one is red dot pistol performance to fighting. So I do my 1-day class, and then he does a class where he talks about fighting with a red dot pistol, his accuracy standards, his philosophies, and we go into low light cover, concealment, all that other stuff, man. It's an awesome class. And Jared is an awesome guy. And then in California, in the next month or so, we're doing 1-day red dot pistol and 1-day rifle, right? So that's going to be a good time. I think the California one's already sold out. The Miami one's in November, and that's half sold out. So if you want to get on that because that class sells out quickly. Who else am I doing a class with? Bill Blowers again and I are doing a TTPOA class in Round Rock. 1-day red dot, 1-day NVGs with red dot pistol. So obviously I'm doing the red dot and he's doing the NVGs in Texas. Again, that's TTPOA LE only. And then I think I got another one there, but I can't remember what it is. And then, a little precursor. Hopefully my wife doesn't get mad at me. It's not, the link isn't out yet. So calm down, party people. But in 2022, our good friend, Keith Romp, from the Central Iowa Training Group is hosting me and Chuck, at the Brownells range in, Iowa. I'm going to be teaching 1-day red dot fundamentals and performance, and he's going to be teaching his no-fail pistol on day 2. That's going to be in September of 2022.
Collaboration is a good thing. That's cool shit.
Yep.
Must be fun for you to get to enjoy other programs and other, you don't have to do the same thing all 85 times in a row. That's helpful.
Yeah, I really don't. People ask me if I get burnt out for teaching the same thing over and over. And to that I say no, because I haven't taught the same thing over and over to you.
That's very fair. Yeah.
So it's different every single time, right? The thing that I enjoy with teaching with, Bill or Jared or, Dan is everyone's worried, right? Because I come from the civilian gamer side of the house, right? And they come from the face shooter side of the house. Guys, shooting is shooting, right? It's the same side. We're all the part of the same coin, maybe a different side of the coin, right? We're getting to the same destination, maybe with a different way, maybe with different explanations, right? And sometimes you can just explain things just a little bit differently. I like to see how these other high-level instructors explain things, right? They learn from me, I learn from them. And it's awesome. So that's what I enjoy. And the camaraderie, of it as well. I don't collaborate with anybody less than a stellar, person.
So Jedi, I'm curious about something with all the different collaborations you have, as well known in the industry you are. I am wondering that, as you even said, and we all believe, we are all a project. Never stop getting better. Never stop improving.
Yep.
I want to know about a recent holy shit moment that you had where one of your collaborators or friends or colleagues or whatever was breaking something down in a class. Maybe you weren't even there as a quintessential student, but you just like, holy shit.
Oh, sure. Yep. I'll give you the best story, right? So 2019. Yeah. So I'm teaching at Janesville Police Department in Wisconsin, right? I'm teaching Saturday, Sunday, and then Bill Blower's there for the entire week doing his SWAT week workup for those guys, right? But he's teaching tac pistol on Thursday, Friday. That's open enrollment. He goes, hey, dude, come on out early. Let's hang out at the Victos compound, have a good time, and hop in my class. And I was like, hell yeah. So we go there. Jim Dexter, my buddy Jim Dexter, Tactically Sound, was with me as well. And so we take his class, right? So I'm gonna back up here a little bit and tell you about my journey with strong hand only shooting. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit of a story, but whatever, right? So I got back into shooting about 2010, right? So I took a class from a guy, local guy, former Marine, right? So for your Marine friends, you know, eat babies.
That's the second baby joke 2 weeks in a row on this show.
Yeah.
You missed the first one. Good God.
Anyway, so that's where I found out that Marines were riflemen, not pistoleros, right? Save Ernest Langdon. So he goes, all right, guys, so here's the deal, right? We're going to come out, and what happens is you're shooting two-handed, and then you get hit in the support hand. So now what happens, because you don't have a support hand, there's no meat behind the gun. And I went, sir, there's still meat behind. Hey, don't argue with me. I'm the goddamn instructor, knife hand and everything. I'm like, oh, okay. You're 5'5". You should remember that, but carry on, sir. Right? So what you need to do in order to get meat behind the gun is you put the same side leg with the same side hand. Now you got meat behind the gun. And I went, sir, there's no meat. Hey, don't argue with me. I was like, hey, man, I'm the client. I'm asking a question. You're telling me something has happened. Meat behind the gun, not meat behind the gun. And I'm not seeing it. So can you answer my question? And he goes, hey, large Asian man, can you just do what I'm telling you to do? Because I'm just simply regurgitating shit they told me in the Corps. Fair enough, bro. I hate shooting with one hand too. Let's move on. So I never questioned it because and it's amazing, even high level and competitive guys do that shit, right? You know who doesn't do it? Doug Koenig, world champion shooter, first one to get a full 100 on the Bianchi Cup. He says, why are you guys switching your feet? Just have a little step forward to keep your weight forward with your structure, right? But I didn't listen to him because everyone else said switch your feet. But I found in competition, when you do the classifiers with strong hand only, and it was very hard to find the dot. Very hard to find the dot, right? But whatever, I hate doing that stuff, never questioned it, right? So then I take Bill's class, right? And he goes, all right, guys, we're going to do strong hand only. So I'm like, hell yeah, sooner, not faster. So I switch my feet, right? He goes, Jedi, what the hell are you doing? I go, getting meat behind the gun, right? He's like, what the hell do you say? Blah, blah, blah. You know, Bill, explanatives and everything in there, right? He goes, hey, you're not going to switch your feet in a goddamn fight. Why are you doing it in practice? Right? Look at all the things that people do out there on videos and stuff like that, where they don't get a better grip or anything like that. And you think you're going to switch your feet? I'm like, speak more to that, right? And he goes, all right, well, check it out. There's videos out there where that off-duty cop picks up his dry cleaning, gets into a gunfight, never drops his dry cleaning, right? Or that state patrol guy writing a ticket, gets into a gunfight, never drops his moneymaker. That's a joke from my state patrol guys, right? Right? You honestly think that you're going to do this. All right, I got you. You got me. And then you're going to switch your feet, but I got something for you. You're not going to do that. Stop practicing it. So I went, okay, I'm not going to switch my feet. So I'm going from appendix. Dexter's with me, right? So I'm like this because this hand's shot or whatever, right? Boom. Oh, shit, there's the dot. Oh, my God. What's going on? Holy shit. But surely it's going to suck in recoil because I ain't got no meat behind the gun. Right? And you guys can attest to this because you've seen me shoot strong hand only, right? What I figured out what people do is when they switch their feet, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that except for time, moving axes, right? Almost making sure that you don't find the dot because there's too many moving parts on your body. But the other thing is when you do this, people wind up stretching toward the target, right? And that causes the pendulum with this 2-pound gun really heavy out at the end of the lever, right? But if you don't switch your feet, you keep your shoulders square, your structure is there, and right. And the other thing is, I don't cant my gun. Don't cant your gun. Why are you canting your gun? Because it's natural. Says who? Says who? Why is that natural? Right? Because every single person, when they track the dot, which do you like better? When the dot tracks from 11 to 5, or do you like it when it goes 12 to 6? 12 to 6, right? It's more predictable. That's what the human vision, psyche, mind, whatever likes. When you cant the gun, it's going to go 11 to 5 every single time. So why make it? Just gun here and go to work. So a little bit of a long story. So that was probably the last major epiphany I've had in a French class.
That's awesome.
Absolutely fantastic, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. And see, folks, you tune into the show, all this amazing content.
Yeah, they got a whole block in my class. Jesus.
Right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. He had to deal with us for 2 whole days. With that being said, so we've seen some of the posts on social media. Of course, there's a video on your YouTube channel of you going over it. I want to hear more about the Walther.
Oh, the DDX?
The DDX. Yeah, man. Let's talk
about it. The
about
lighting in here is kind of shitty, so stand by. Internet. Empty gun. Empty gun. Right? Now I'm going to get calls. Hey, you're making fun of safety.
Right.
Safety. All right. Okay.
So, hey, Jedi, don't go all IDPA on us now.
I know. All right. So this is the DDX. I know the lighting here kind of sucks, guys. Sorry about that. So this is the DDX. It's a Q5 steel frame, lower, right, frame, and a Q4 slide with a custom barrel, threaded barrel from Parker Mountain Machine, and his custom comp matching the Walther, right? The thing is that we've all seen the SIG 320s, right, with a compact slide and a long frame. It basically does the same thing. Okay. Now, the thing also about this, right, is that it also has the Walther dynamic trigger, right? And not that it really matters because you really can't tell on the internet, right? Again, clear gun. This is the Walther dynamic trigger. This is a factory trigger.
Like a glass rod.
That was reset. Okay. So the gun's absolutely amazing. It's heavy. It's gorgeous. And this is the most accurate gun I've ever shot. Right. When I shank something shooting a B8 at 25 yards and I shank it, that means it's at 7 o'clock in the 9.
Yeah.
In the 9. Right.
Yeah.
This gun is absolutely crazy. Right now. So I've got the C&H 509 plate on there and a Holosun 509. With the backup irons, right, from them as well. This will be probably available in like 2 to 3 months, first as a parts kit. And if demand is there, they'll probably do the whole gun, right?
Yours has a deleted beaver tail in the rear.
Yeah. I don't like beaver tails on striker fire guns. I think they're stupid, right? Yep. Dude, I shoot for Walther. I told him that. Bill Bowers loves beaver tails. Whatever. Right? I don't like him. So I had AJ Zito, right? Cut that off. Because you guys know how I draw, right? It's the claw grip. Just like that. And with the beaver tail, it was impossible with this gun. I love this gun every other way. Sent it to AJ, cut that thing off, and it is, I don't know if you guys can see that too well. I know the lighting sucks. Look at that.
That's coming in.
Looks factory, right?
So it will not be that way, though, from factory. From Walther, it'll have a beaver tail.
It will not. Yeah, but they're thinking about offering it as an option through AJ's company.
Right? Awesome. Good for AJ, by the way. Good to see him. Good for AJ. He's doing fucking awesome.
He's awesome, man. The only other thing this gun has there, right, is AJ makes custom recoil springs that are captured, right, that use Glock ISMI springs. This is a 13-pound recoil spring. Right, factory, they're like 18, 19 pounds, right? And that gun does not move with the 13. It's amazing. All right, so that's the DDX. Be paying attention to Walther, especially in a month, less than a month. 3 weeks, 21 days, counting down. Walther is going to light the industry on fuego.
It's almost like he knows some things. That's cool. But you're not. So one of the things that's interesting about guys, some guys, they're sponsored shooters or pro staff guys or whatever, and that's all they shoot. I happen to know that you've experimented with and messed with some other platforms in the last year. Are you at liberty to talk about some of the other stuff you played with?
Yeah, that's why I shoot for Walther. They don't care what I shoot.
Good for you. Yeah.
They want my opinion. They want my experience, right? And I shoot Walthers because they're the best pistols that I have right now, right? So what are you talking about? Are you talking about the Boresight set Glock 17 that I shoot? Talking about the Staccato XE?
I was thinking Staccato and LTT RDO.
Yep. So I have those. Again, the thing about Walther is why I shoot for Walther is most of this industry is held together with spit and duct tape, right? And after being in corporate America for 26 years, it was a little off-putting, to be honest with you. Walther's the most professional company in this industry, right? They do what they say they're going to do. Their contracts don't have typos in them, right? And they have a truly collaborative mindset. And a lot of that is Cody Osborne, the marketing director. The dude's a shooter, man, a high-level shooter, right? So he takes our advice and he makes it happen. He makes it happen. And that's reflected in the new guns coming out mid-February, right? So a couple other guns, right? So I think if people have been following me, they know I have a tremendous respect for Ernest Langdon, right? His model as an instructor, as a person, is what many of us should follow, right? High-level guy, humble. Do I agree with all his techniques? No. Does he agree with all my techniques? Absolutely not. He'll tell you, get your hands off your goddamn shirt in his class, right? I'm okay with that, right? So I had the honor of him when he launched that gun. He sent me the 92. Guys, I'm not a DASA guy. I'm not. Just not, right? Just not me, right? But that doesn't mean because I don't particularly like something that I poo-poo it, right? So I had the honor of him sending me one of the guns, right? I still have it. I love the gun. What he has done, he's just a genius with that gun. He's just a genius with that gun, right? If I didn't have other things in, that I want to shoot or get paid to shoot, right? That gun would be a serious contender, right? But is the juice worth the squeeze for me to convert from striker fire to DASA? Not necessarily. But if you're a DASA guy, my God, you need to look at this, right? Especially from the history behind the gun. Man, that thing is just butter smooth. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Real quick, just to comment on the Beretta, they kind of get a bad rap because you get a lot of the guys that out of the military and stuff like that. You hear nothing but negative shit from these guns. By the way, that have had millions of rounds through them. Right. Of course, they're going to fall apart at the drop of a hat. They've probably never been actually properly serviced. But with that being said, especially the guns that have got Langdon's signature on them, are probably some of the finest machines I have ever had the pleasure of dealing with.
Poo-pooing on present-day 92s because of the previous history of 92s in the military, right? It's like saying, I'm not going to shoot an AR platform, right, because it resembles an M4 and the lineage is an M16, and M16 suck when they first came out in Vietnam.
Exactly.
That makes zero sense. Zero sense. And anybody who's on a 92, you have not felt an LTT 92. Hard stop.
TJ and I can both actually speak to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm debating the RDO part, but yeah, the LTT guns are great guns. My gun wasn't all worked up by Ernest. I bought his trigger job in a bag and all his different parts kits and stuff. Yeah. I did it myself, but man, I'll tell you what, there's some advantages for me. I just can't get the wave and the index points together and then roll forward on that trigger guard without slipping more than I want to. I needed a. So
that's a common thing with steel guns, right? So what you do is you take it to your gunsmith or to your laser engraver. For example, the Walther Q5, same thing, right? It's slippery steel. So what I did is, I don't know if you guys saw the video where I had my logo laser engraved, right? So that's my buddy Fabio Spinella in Upland, California. When I was teaching a class out there, he hosted me. He also took that laser engraver and put in checkerboard.
Nice.
Under the thing, right? It's just enough so when I draw, my finger underside doesn't slip, right? Find a laser engraver, tell them to put a checkerboard pattern under your trigger guard, and it'll work.
This is a great time for a promo for one of our sponsors, Limitless Laserworks, who's my fucking cousin, and I didn't even think of that.
That's why.
Guess what we'll be doing? Yeah, that's what we got. That's what I got you for. So, welcome to the new Limitless Laserworks on fucking all of Kent's metal guns package that we'll be selling to you guys in 3 weeks. Sorry for not thinking of that one.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Not guaranteed to improve accuracy, timeliness, or attractiveness.
No, but the thing with the traction there, right, that you get with stippling on a plastic gun is as you're coming up, right, and you're doing that wave technique where you're torquing in, if it's slippery, that torque could bring you off your finger. Yep. And when you come off the finger, that can cause separation in your palms, right, which lets recoil impulse escape, right? So that's why it's important. You just need enough. I think he did 10 passes to get it to where I wanted it to be, right? And it's also not chewing up my knuckle either.
Right.
Aggressive stippling does, right? It's just like a little doorstop. Bang. And it's right there. And it's perfect.
I love it.
Right. So I didn't want to derail us too much, Jedi, but please continue on with the, I believe you were going to talk about the staccato as well.
Oh, yeah. So I have a Staccato XC. I have a very good friend. Needed some money. So I, as a good friend, of course, I bought it off of him. Why wouldn't I? Right? I mean, I didn't really want the gun, but hell, I got it. Right? So the thing about the Staccato XC, right? There's a couple of reasons why you wouldn't want a Staccato XC. First reason, you can't afford it. Let's be honest. Okay. Number two, when you buy it, it will ruin you for most guns. Right? The gun's too easy. It's too damn easy. Right? And then if you have to switch back to another gun, life becomes more difficult. Right? That's why I love this gun so much. I'll put this against a Staccato XC any day of the week. I love both guns. Right? And it's hard to get around the beauty of a 2011 1911 trigger, right? This gun gets close. The advantage on this gun is no beaver tail. But positive PID off to the side, no beaver tail, right? Where with the staccato, even though I'm very quick, the staccato from appendix, right? Instead of going straight down and bouncing the gun out of your holster, right? You have to come in at a 1 o'clock. So instead of straight down, you have to come in at like a 1 o'clock and scoop it up, right? Still fast. It's about 5 to 7 hundredths slower because that energy is not directed straight down and up. It's like a circular, right, thing, and that takes time. Right? But once you get that gun out, that fucking trigger, it's nuts. It's nuts, right?
Well, there's even, I do even recall, there is such a thing as too fast, right?
There's uncontrollable,
right?
Yeah, right. And that's when you start talking about what Ben Steger labels, and I have affectionately adopted as jailbait splits, right? You get to 16 splits and you can't stop, right? And that gun is too easy to hit 14s, 15s, and 16s. It's too easy, right? What I found with the Staccato XC, and this is not, it's the platform, right? Staccato is an amazing company and they make amazing guns, right? Mm-hmm. But no matter, I have never seen anybody draw a 2011 sub 8, right? I don't know. Have you guys? Sub 8, right?
Yeah.
It's because of the beaver tail.
Yep.
right? Because you have to come at an angle and that causes friction. And if anybody can prove me wrong about it, right, and show me their setup, and they could do a 0.7x, 0.79 draw with a 2011, right, and you're not doing some weird gamey shit, right, with a gun like sticking out a foot from your belly, right? I'd like to see it. I honestly would, because then I'll break it down and steal that technique that you don't even know you're doing.
Yeah.
But you have a trade-off of a slightly slower draw, right? And if you have a time standard, you need to make it up with splits, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I would rather have a 0.8x draw and do between 18 and 22 splits to hit my goals any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I've trying to play with beaver tailed guns. I appendix carried the Q5 steel frame for a while,
Mm-hmm.
And the draw was not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the splits, even for me with that gun, the splits were getting a little wild. And the truth is, that gun, I had 2 scary incidences with that gun where I oversplitted the gun more than I wanted to, in a training environment and once in a match environment. I was like, the fuck am I doing carrying this thing?
Mm.
There's no sense of carrying this thing. And
you mean you did it too fast on the split?
Yeah. I was transitioning, and I sent like, berm hits, and I went, Jesus Christ, that's not me. That's not what we do here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, especially during a test like a match, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, would it be awesome to have Thor's hammer Molinar? You goddamn right. But I wind up wrecking something because it's too much power.
Shit, I do that with a regular hammer.
Exactly, right? Exactly. You know what I mean? But it's an amazing gun. It's absolutely amazing gun. So.
Oh, here we go. We got a dude telling one on himself that's not entirely true, because I've seen him on the range. But Sam DeSimone from Evolution Training Solutions, one of my friendly competitors in PA here, who I send people to, go train with Sam now. Horrible reaction off the beep, he says. On the B, not the P, that whole thing.
Yeah, I kind of remember that from when Sam came to my class. I kind of remember that. Yeah. So here's the whole thing, right? We're not talking about superhuman strength or speed or anything like that. You have just got to be sooner, not faster. Okay. So what does that mean, right? The beep is 0.3, right? I have people that super fast draws, but if you go by the time the beep ends, no matter how fast you are, add 0.3 to it, right? On the other hand, if you go on the B, not the P, right, and you can get back, right, 0.17, 0.2, right, 0.18 from that, that's huge, right? If we were on the range or in a match and I did an 18 split, would you go, oh my God, you are a wizard, sir? No, you wouldn't. An 18 split's not that big of a deal. Anybody can do an 18 split, right? But cut 0.18 by going sooner off your draw, think about that. That is the difference, right, between a 117 draw, which is good, and a 99, right? You get a 99 draw consistently, start your own IG channel. But you're awesome. You know what I mean? So how do you get there? Micro drills, right? So Sam mostly trains cops, right? So he's going to go off of his ALS, right? So Sam will remember this, right? So either practice the pluck or the scoop pluck, right? Audience, if you want to know what that is, come to my class. And again, it's not that you think that's the most practical draw, whatever. It's just an efficient draw, right? To remove the obstacles while you're trying to attain this newfound soonness, okay? So put in that position, right? Put the shot timer on delay, and your whole goal is just get your hand into that grip, right? Onto the grip before the beep ends, and video yourself, right? Do it like 10 times. Beep. Get your hand on the gun before the beep ends. Then take it and watch it at 25%. You can do it on your phone. It's kind of hard to see. Best way is start a YouTube channel, upload it, right? Mark it private so your friends can't troll you. Anyway, right? And then watch it in slow-mo. You'll hear the beep, right? That 0.3 that goes from beep will now sound like this. Right? And you will see how slow you react to the beep, right? And then when you see that, then you immediately fix it because it's your idea now. You've seen it, right? So then go back and do the same thing and watch your time whittle down. Now, once you get your hand on the gun before the beep ends, now do full draws, right? And then watch that in slow-mo and watch 0.1 to 0.15 drop off your draw like that.
There you go. Dude doesn't have time to do free internet coaching, but he just did more free internet coaching.
Yep.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, that's exactly the world I'm living in right now. You just described me. If I get a sub-second draw, it's because I had a killer reaction to the beat.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get a 1-0 fucking 6, I'm so goddamn tired of seeing 1.06 on the timer.
Yeah.
But then again, 3-4 years ago,
you also don't have a ginger friend yelling at you behind the safety line.
Yeah, I don't have you yelling at me anymore, but I also the timer doesn't start with a 2, so there's fucking that, right?
Oh, remember those days, bro?
Dude.
Woo.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we did that video one, and he goes, "Well, dude, I want to get somewhere below a 2-second draw." I'm like, "Honey, fam, let's do this."
So, folks, real quick, plot twist. Everybody complaining about, the cost of ammo prices and availability of ammo and shit like that. Guess what you could be doing in your free time?
Yeah.
Recording yourself
Mm-hmm.
and improving. This is all free dry fire training. If you've got the gun, you've got the holster, you've probably got a camera laying around.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
These are all things that you can do.
The only famous shooter that said he got better only from live fire, right, was the great one, Rob Latham. But he's been getting free ammo for the last 40 fucking years. Okay? The rest of us are not in that boat.
These are good problems to have.
Yeah, exactly. Every other high level person, right? Ben Steger, Tim Herron, Mason Lane, Max Michelle, JJ Ricazza, Shane Coley, on and on and on and on till the break of dawn will tell you they got better in dry fire. Mm-hmm. And live fire was the verification of that skill, right? And the mechanics of managing recoil. That's what live fire is for, right? But it's dry fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we are getting a question, and Jenna, honestly, this is a topic that I don't think at least the three of us together haven't discussed. So MG Butson, he's a regular viewer. Spends a lot of time working with his kids on the range. Mm-hmm. What are your messages, for the future Second Amendment community that's up and coming?
Yeah. So that's just be a good American, right? And if you think being a good American doesn't mean to support 2A or doesn't mean that you have to shoot guns, I'm okay with that. It doesn't mean that I can't shoot guns, right? So just like we talked about instructors before, try and be the best person you can be. Because if you do good, your students will do good, and good will come back to the rest of us, okay? Too often, right, we want to cut out the throats of those people that don't understand our message, right? And for those people that want to take away our rights, fuck those guys, right? But that's not where the battle is. That ship has already sailed. It's about convincing the middle. And however you want to do that. It's however you want to do that, right? But being a dick, right? Yelling out, my rights, America, you're a fucking communist. While you may be right? You're not going to switch the middle to our side, right? And believe it or not, and even in these strange times of liberal dominance right now in our politics, right? We just picked up 7 million teammates. 7 million teammates, right? That we need to purvey. They came here out of fear from the riots and COVID and all that other shit, right? So let's welcome them to the next level, right? I'm not saying coddle them. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that we don't need to help them out and get out of their Uncle Mike's holsters, right? And their Gap belts and stuff like that, right? But let's be good examples. Let's be normal examples of what a good American looks like, right? And offer to help them, right? And have logical arguments. We always like, oh, look at the left. They're so stupid. Right? Watch the Daily Wire, watch Prager University and Turning Point. The liberals are so fucking stupid. Do you know how many conversations I've had with gun people and they were idiots? More than I care to admit.
Yeah.
So whenever there's a tornado that goes through a trailer park,
yeah,
and the news person generally finds the dumbest person on the planet to just go ask a question to about how they just lost their house. Yeah, that person probably owns guns.
Well, sure they do.
Right?
They can do what they want, right? But
so we are not infallible, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, right. So have a reason. Why is the Second Amendment so important? Because it guarantees all the other rights. Hard stop. Well, that's not true. Our government is benevolent. They'll never take away our freedom of speech. Go read the Constitution of Canada, of the UK, right? Of all the other ones that we can these European, the ones that we're trying to, other people want us to be like. They don't have freedom of speech. If you don't address, right, a transgender person by the pronoun in which they'd like, you could be sued. That is not freedom of speech, right? I'm not talking about hate sheet. I'm just calling a dude, hey, man. Oh, that's not freedom of speech, right? We have that here, right? Yes, I know Facebook and Twitter banning, blah, blah, blah. They're still private businesses, right? When you come onto my page and you start talking yang, you know what you're talking about, guess what I do? I block you, right? Am I a First Amendment violator? No, man, it's my page. I do what I want, right? There's plenty of other ways to spread the good word, right? Plenty of good ways, right? Maybe this is going to be the return of forums now and the decline of Facebook, right? So yeah. Interesting days. Does that answer the question? Just be a good American, right? Have the reasons for what you do. And if your reason of why you shoot guns is because it's just really fun, well, don't get upset about that when someone shoots your argument down. You know what I mean? Have a reason based on our God-given rights on why you shoot guns and the fact that they guarantee all of the other rights. Hard stop. You know what I mean? Right? Mm-hmm. And have that argument poignant, right? I'll give you another classic example, right? I have a very good friend. You guys have followed me on Facebook, right? On my personal page. Mm-hmm. And you see to my well-meaning liberal Northern Virginia friends and neighbors, right? Yep. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic when I put that, but I'm not coming out like a raging cockface on it, right? Throwing little things in there. And I get, hey, man, you know what? There are a couple of dudes out there that are liberals, and they wade in amongst us meat eaters, right? And while they may get shot down, kudos to them for stepping up and having a debate, right?
Absolutely.
I will not mention his name, right? But he's a good dude, right? I used to coach his kids in jiu-jitsu, yada, yada, great guy. He happens to be a civilian that works for one of the military branches, right? So we're talking about the whole gun rights thing. We're going back and forth, blah, 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 the breakdown of, the 30,000 people that die from guns every year. When you really look at it, really only about 4,000 that are unwarranted outside of crime, accidents, and suicide, right? So we start talking about that, right? He's like, but here's the thing, man. You guys just make this thing about guns, right? Guns kill people. Okay, you can say people kill people, blah, 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 but it's harder without guns. The only reason why guns are around are to kill people, right? And I go, I see where you have that point. Absolutely do, right? And you're not necessarily wrong, right? But the golden rule of violence is what keeps people in check from wanting to violate my rights, right? He's like, name one other thing that exists for the potential of violence to protect something. I said, the military.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Well, but so let me ask you two these questions, right? About how deeply I think about things, right? You have heard that thing where people say, right? You can say what you want. All guns really do is kill people. And you're like, yeah. Name one other thing that exists for just the protection of people that only has the threat of violence on their side. And you're kind of like, that's not the point. My rights, right? There's your example, the military. You want to argue that we don't need the military, right? What is my own personal protection? It is my own military, right? So you start having arguments like that, logical, dispassionate arguments, and they finally start going, and then the next thing that happens, there's a protest that goes down their street and they wreck and burn houses. Right? Or they destroy something, or there's COVID and there's no fucking food or poop paper. Right? All of those people that didn't have a guy barking down their throat, my rights, what did those guys do? They went with the gun, and we have 7 million more teammates. Let's bring them into the fold, do our best to educate them, right? And show them one of several correct paths to get to what their goal is and whatever their metric is.
Yeah, man. You're meeting me where I'm living day to day.
Yeah.
I
God bless you, bro. What you're doing, dude, I will tell you what you're doing, right? Everyone's like, they see me out there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it, man. I love my job, right? But what you're doing is no less important than what I'm doing, right? Do I get to do cool shit like hang out with SWAT guys and high-level dudes in the FBI and blah, blah, blah? Fuck yeah, it's awesome. Hell yes, right? But at the end of the day, right, you're doing the Lord's work, right? Because you're introducing these people, right, to self-reliance, man.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Man, you're building cars. I make cars faster.
That's it. Most of my best ideas come from the boss. She's upstairs with the little guy right now.
Yep.
But we've been saying to people now for since this whole craziness started, you're here because you're scared. I'd like you to leave feeling a little more empowered.
There you go. That's a great line.
That's all we're saying
Holy
to people.
Shit, I'm gonna steal that.
No, sir, you are absolutely not. You may have it. I've stolen plenty of your shit. Right?
That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah, man.
You're here because you're scared.
I'm going to help you leave empowered. Oh, put that on a shirt, man. That's amazing, bro.
TJ, with the shirts and the thing and the internet.
Bro,
we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
So I give a lot of, so for you instructors out there, right, they're always looking for better marketing advice and stuff like that. And by the way, guys, marketing isn't evil. It's called capitalism. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell people, and I took this from Richard Yamasaki, right? He is a very famous angel investor. Got the resurgence of Apple off the ground when it made its resurgence, stuff like that. He said a business needs to have three things: its mission, its market, and its mantra. Okay. The mission is who are you helping, right? And that can be a paragraph long. Who are you helping them? Why are you helping them? And how are you going to help them, right? The market is who, right? Who are you going to cater to? Okay. The mantra is how do you remind yourself of the mission and the market in one sentence? And your mantra is you came here scared or afraid, and I'm going to make you leave here empowered. Bro, that's genius right there. Holy shit, dude. If I was a newbie, I would want to come to that class. Yeah.
So we're trying for, man. You certainly helped build all the metrics and a lot of connections and a lot of other things. I have you to thank for a lot of this, but yeah, man. When it comes,
you did the hard work, bro. I just gave you some guidance. You did the hard work.
When it comes to the thinking, the boss lady upstairs did that one. So we have soap
like bull, bro, from the mouth of babes.
Right? Don't say
what mouth of babes, dude. That is. You know how many dudes I talk to about coming up with their mantra, and they're just like, I work on it, and they eventually come up with one, and I help them and stuff like that, and good on them, right? Bro, your wife doesn't even help you teach, right? She shoots, you help her shoot, doesn't help you teach, and all she did was relate from her soul.
Absolutely.
You do.
Yep.
Man. Bro,
Yep.
Get into a shirt. I'll buy it.
Hell yeah. TJ with the beep boop and the shirt.
TJ's
the shirt,
we'll make
man.
it right. Yeah, we'll make it happen. I'll design you something special, mostly because it was Sophie's idea.
Right. Well,
amazing, bro.
So in the meantime, though, of course, as has become customary, Jedi we have a Jedi inspired shirt that just went live while we were having this broadcast.
Oh, no shit.
Those that saw me all distracted and shit, right?
He freestyles up a shirt for every episode. So we'll let Jedi, you ever watch the Kill Tony podcast?
Yeah, so I am posting the link. Yeah, I'm posting the link here into the active chat. Yeah. But if you go to teespring.com/b-better-msp, you will see the simple design. So once again, folks,
I can find this thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Right now. Hold on, hit escape.
So while Scott's beep booping, the Kill Tony show has a live artist who like does a caricature of the show live, and then they sell the damn thing. We've got our own version of that. That's TJ making up a T-shirt on the show on the spot and then posting it. And the cool part is the proceeds are going to charity.
Oh yeah,
we gotta fucking love that shit. And TJ will never give himself credit for fucking anything because he's the brains behind the whole operation. But god damn, my man can make a T-shirt faster than I can make a mantra for a gun class.
I want it based. Sorry, guys.
I can make a few.
Yeah. So what are we doing for while Scott's beep booping? What are we doing for charities? Which one are we doing?
Scott, do you have a preference?
Hell yeah, stand by. I want to see this shirt. I won't be able to think.
A solid hour and 20 minutes of fantastic,
there you go, awesome,
mind-numbing content.
Yeah,
and we threw him off track with a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff, guys. That's a great idea. Yeah. So we just talked about the Second Amendment, what we can do with the Second Amendment and stuff like that, right? We've had some upheaval with the NRA, right, and stuff like that, right? So, but we have to support those people lobbying and suing, to protect our rights. Okay. There are a ton of great charities out there, right? For example, the Police Memorial Fund's amazing, right? Along with a whole bunch of other ones, right? But in these times right now, if you could see your way to it, right? I donate monthly. I won't tell you how much, but I donate monthly to the Firearms Policy Coalition, right? My buddy, Alan Normandy, right, who owns Battle Comp, is the vice president for them. So, let me put it to you this way. If Alan Normandy said, hey, bro, I need you to fly to Prescott, we bring shovels in a bag, I would cut this podcast short and go, right? That's how much I love that man. That's how much of an outstanding human he is, right? And if he puts his heart and soul behind an organization, it's legit. Right. So if you guys, whether you're going to do it for the shirt or, if I helped anybody out here at all, right, with some advice, with some insight, if I made you laugh, if I pissed you off and made you want to work harder, right, do me a favor, throw a couple bucks out to the Firearms Policy Coalition, right? They're doing great work. So that's
As always, links will be in the description down below. But for those of you playing the home game or listening on your favorite podcast player, firearmspolicy.org is the website.
So here's the deal, Jedi. Your T-shirt proceeds that TJ just made up for you on the spot are going to go to the Firearms Policy Coalition.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
So that's the podcast's little way of giving back. So that's how
great, guys. That's great. Yep.
Right.
100%.
All the good ideas around here come from somebody else. That one was TJ's. So,
nice.
Right? Works pretty good. Yeah,
well,
man.
honestly, I was really looking for a way to see how we could divvy up the proceeds from the T-shirt sales. So instead of being like, "Hey, go buy the same shit we've had up there for the past 6 months," because we're not really that creative. I was like, you know what? let's just do a shirt for every show for an inspirational moment.
Yeah.
And then this way I can actually track by line item how to divvy it up for the charities. It works out beautifully.
The next Tim Herron show is going to be a keyboard elf with a left-handed cookie. So you're going to have to figure
Well, why wouldn't it be?
Right. I don't know.
Nice. With and all the chips are in one stack.
Oh, shit.
There's only eight. So
That's awesome. So look, dude, we've been slamming this in for an hour and a half. I'm going to pull a U on you.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you 2 questions that you get to ask a bunch of people that you don't get to ask yourself. I was going to give you the whole get it off your chest thing, but fucking
the whole segment's been about.
The whole thing's been that. So that's awesome.
I talked to my buddy Matt Pronka and it was contagious. So
that's fantastic, dude. I love that. So what do people need to stop doing? And what do people need to start doing to get better? And if you're not clued in, I'm referencing the Modern Samurai Project podcast, which you should be listening to because it's Scott's show. And
link in the description.
he asks everybody these 2 questions. So what do people need to stop doing? What do people need to start doing?
Let's talk about what people need to start doing to get better, right? They need to start using metrics. They need to stop being fanboys. They need to start working harder with a metric in mind. Okay. What do I mean by that? Okay. The fanboy thing is annoying. Okay. I'm not talking about respect. Okay. I'm talking about you don't know the dude, or maybe you took one class with him and no matter what he says, right, you're his little, minion familiar. Remember the movie Blade, The Familiars?
Yes. Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like
awesome reference, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome reference.
Right? Stop doing that. Okay. Find a metric, right? What's that metric and work toward that metric. If this guy can help you get to a certain area, awesome. If this guy can help you, awesome. Okay. And just work harder toward that metric. Find the answer. Do not be dedicated to one instructor. Okay. Get out there and do the best, right? Dude, people take my class, they take other red dot classes. Knock yourself out, man. Knock yourself out, right? If you can get something, right? What do people need to stop doing? Okay. So I'm speaking to instructors out there. Stop taking credit for your students. Okay. You look like an asshole when you do that. Okay. Stop it. Did you show them something? Yes. Did you teach them something? Yes. Did they pay you for that product? Yes. Right. For example, right? Kent, your monitor, who made it?
Acer.
Acer made your monitor, right? Do they own that monitor now?
No, sir, they do not.
No, it is your monitor. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with it.
Yep.
Right? Okay, cool. Acer cannot take credit for the computer work you do because you use their fucking monitor. Right? If a person comes to your class and they use your technique, you should feel privileged. If it made them better, you should feel privileged. Okay? Because you were not there after the class where they did the dry fire. You were not there when they did the work for the live fire. You were not there for the ammo purchase. You did not send them ammo. You did not send them money or anything like that. Stop taking credit for your students. Okay? Also, instructors. Okay? The greatest piece of advice, and this is the other side of the same coin, right? The greatest piece of advice that really anybody's ever given me when I first started instructing was Ernest Langdon. He said, Scott, the best teachers are the best thieves. To maintain honor, give credit where credit is due, right? Kent, you own that Acer monitor, right?
Yep.
Did you build it?
Did I what?
Did you build that? Did you build that monitor?
Nope.
Can you take credit for that monitor? Can you use the shit out of that monitor?
Absolutely.
Right? So think of the monitor as a technique. Okay. You went to a class, you got a technique, right? And you use it because it's your right to use it. You buy it, you paid for it, you bought it, right? But would you ever say that is now a Hauer monitor?
Hell no.
Right? Because you instructors that take techniques from other people and don't provide that lineage, you're an asshole.
Yep.
Okay? You're an asshole. Okay? Because people work hard to come up with this stuff, right? Give credit where credit is due. Hard stop. Hard stop. The best that you possibly can. The best that you possibly can. You do that, everything's intact, knock yourself out, go make people better. Right? Because here's the thing for you, on the other hand, the you instructors that get mad that someone uses your technique, right? Even though they gave you credit, oh, that's mine. They can't use that. They need to come to my class. Bro, they're marketing for you. Do you know how many people have come to my class that went and did a class with Kent? You can probably name 5 to 7 people off the top of your head.
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Right?
Yep.
Do you know how many people, right, come from other classes? John Murphy from FPF, the Green Ops guys. The list goes on and on because I've showed them a technique. They dug it. They showed it to their students. And the next class they took, they wanted to hear more about this voodoo that I offer. Boom. But if they hadn't used the technique because they didn't come up with it out of some weird thing, right, then that person would have never found out about me. Right? So there's a straight path to walk. Okay. Instructors, give your techniques freely. Ask your students that if they use that technique because they paid for it, to give you credit for it. Right? If you came up with it or show the lineage. Right? And then let them use it. And then when they become marketers, right, for you, you'll have more people coming to your class. Right? So we asked about how we can be a better Second Amendment community and stuff like that. Make people better. And at the end of the day, if someone takes your technique, okay, and doesn't give you credit, and that helps one of their students get home safe at night, and you're mad about that, how dare you, sir? How dare you? Right? Because if you do good making someone else better and they do good by helping someone else get better and getting home at night, bro, the good's going to come back. Just be a good person. Right? And for all those assholes in this industry, just let them do what they want to do because they're going to self-destruct. Be a good person. So start being a good person. End of the day. Do what you're going to say. Give the best information possible. Don't go crazy on people that disagree with you and get better based on a metric. How about that?
Awesome way to end that. Good job. So I'm going to tell you a very quick story, but I'm going to tell you one because it kind of ties into what you just said. Tim Kelly from Apache Solutions and I were taking the Rangemaster instructor class.
Mm-hmm.
And I let him pick the Airbnb. God almighty, do not let Tim Kelly pick an Airbnb.
Oh, was it nasty?
Oh, fuck. We were in the middle of the ghetto in Ohio, right? And we just went through the whole Tom Gibbons speech about and I mean no disrespect to Tom, it literally is a speech about the 71 people who've been in civilian gunfights and what happened to them and where their techniques came from, what they did and didn't do in the whole thing.
Yep.
And then we stopped at a Kroger to pick up food for the Airbnb, and I literally felt like I needed to pull security for my friend to get him in the fucking out of Kroger.
Mm.
And on the way home, we were listening to Robin Williams comedy, joking about the NASCAR sketch with all the different people on the shirt. Like, hey, this was from Pfizer. Hey, this was from Apple. Hey, this was it from AT&T. And Tim goes, bro, can you imagine if we'd gotten a shooting right now? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, fuck, we'd have to put up Jedi because we'd have shot him with red dots. We'd have had to put up Givens because we shot him in plain clothes. We'd have had to put up Tim Herron because we shot him fast, right? And he's going through all the list of all these instructors going, how silly would it be if they claimed credit for everything we ever did? Right?
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest thing. I was thinking, how? And he goes, just imagine like Shooter Symposium where all these guys are around a campfire and Kent or Tim got in a defensive shooting and it worked out for them. And imagine all these guys who are the people that we looked up to going, no, that was my dude. No, that was my dude. No, that was my dude. No, it's
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right?
Isn't it silly?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So here's the deal. Right? So I have an economics degree from UNLV. Did you guys go to college?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you go to school? Either one of you, both of you.
Green Mountain College in Killington.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Yeah. Where'd you go, bro?
The the American Military University.
Okay. So you did. Okay. Got it. Right.
Yes.
What was your majors?
Information system security.
Okay. That's right. I think we talked about that. Kent?
Resort and hospitality management.
Fuck yeah, it was. Mine's economics, right? Think of all the times you spent with all the economics or economics professors, IS, hospitality, right? Can you name one professor?
No.
College?
No.
I can name
all the hours. You can. Good. Probably had a very positive effect on you.
Real good. Yeah.
But one, right?
Yep.
Does that person take credit for you graduating from college with a degree?
No.
So an instructor that you took maybe 2 classes with 32 hours gets to take credit for your self-defense shooting? Shut the up, man. Get out of here with that shit. That's ridiculous. It's so dumb, right? And here I am being kinder, gentler, be a good person. I'm telling people it's dumb, right?
That is the duality of Jedi, folks.
Exactly. It's stop it. You're an idiot, right? You're an insecure idiot, right? At the end of the day, you have your curriculum, you have your beliefs, you have your metrics, and you need to base people if they get better. What they do with that out there has nothing to do with you. Stop taking credit for that thing. It annoys me. Part of the reason why it annoys me is now that people can't deny my success. So what do they start doing? They start taking credit for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, get out of here with that shit, bro. I taught him how to do that grip. Bro, I got the video where you tried to show me your grip and you look like a fucking moron.
Talking about not enough meat behind the gun.
Yeah. All that shit. All that shit, right? So I saw what you did. You explained it horribly. And then I watched you shoot and I figured it out on my own. Right?
Yeah.
So you taking credit for that is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous, right? Stop taking credit for your students. Make them better the best you can in their class. And if they do something well, pat them on the back, give them a high five, learn from their experience, but don't take credit for it. That just makes you look like a shallow asshole.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's an awesome way to end this. It sums it up real well too, because I mean, this industry is its own worst enemy. Many instructors do great things. Everyone should just work together. Yeah, you're right, Sam. I mean, Sam and I are a perfect example of that. We got on the line together a couple times, like, hey, I fucking like this guy. He's good. Hey, I like this guy. Let's help each other.
Yeah, or hey, this guy's a dick, but he's got an awesome technique. Let's watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. God forbid.
Right.
God forbid.
You know what I mean?
It's no secret who Green Mountain Defense finds to be good instructors because we host them. So Jedi will be back 2 times this year. Bev hasn't told me if those classes are full or not, but I'm sure the fuck they are if they're not pretty close. And thanks to him,
I think they're close. I think they're like right there.
Yeah. And thanks to him texting and hooking me up in the hosting circle, we host all kinds of good folks now. So that's one real good way. If you're a budding instructor or somebody who's real serious about this, and you're not hosting that person, whoever that person is, whether it's Scott or whoever else on your mind that you think, man, I really wish that guy or that girl would come here. Fuck, dude, it doesn't take much but a range and some paper and some target stands and some hard work by you for a weekend. Host Jedi. I got to tell you, Scott, you're one of the easier people to host on planet Earth. I know you know that. But
it's mostly because of Bev, but
right.
Yeah.
Like I was giving my spouse credit earlier. If you don't have an awesome spouse that's helping run your world,
life is hard. Life is hard.
Yeah, life is hard. So thank God for the mothers/wives in our lives. But no, seriously, host these guys. Go out on a limb. Get involved and do that stuff. It's not as insurmountable of a task as you may make it out to be for yourself. Just do it. Get a buddy involved and host these guys. Figure it out. Let's see. TJ, you want to do ad reads and wrap this stuff up? Give them Scott.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Absolutely. As always, Scott, dude, it's great to see you. Great to catch up with you.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
Next time you come back around here, I'm going to have to come up and just drop in on you and see how things are going. So
going to be in Nashville at the beginning of February.
Yeah, I might make it. Actually, I would. Like I said, I'll drop in. I actually have to go to New Orleans in early February. I'll check your calendar.
Yeah,
anyway,
3 times this year at Royal Range. So just stop by, have a beer, have a good time.
Man. Yep. Yeah, man. Might even have you over for dinner.
There you go.
With that being said, brother, again, it's great to see you. Great to have you on the show again. Thank you very much for coming back and gracing us with your knowledge and just the fucking great content. It's amazing. I want to do things a little bit different tonight, folks. So this is our 65th episode.
Hell yeah.
Of this show. And it has grown. We have certainly gained quite a few subscribers for, a podcast that literally started from 2 dudes that were hanging out, talking on the internet. I got to quit meeting people on the internet like that. It just gets weird. But the reality of the situation is, folks, this podcast would not be as successful or as enjoyable if it were not for those of you that routinely tune in and listen to the show, follow us, talk to your friends about us, get more listeners and viewers in here. Damn it, we love all of you. So, just quick shout outs. Corey, a good friend of Kent and mine. He's going to get into one of Jedi's classes here in the near future because we're going to guilt trip the shit out of him if he doesn't. Sam DeSimone, Evolution Training Solutions. He's been a viewer before he was a guest on the show. Great guy. The entire Butson crew, MG, Mikey, Daytona. We love all you guys. Vanessa, Kitty, thank you all so much. There are so many to name. I apologize if I missed you, but we care deeply about every one of you, and we're happy to be bringing you the show that we try to bring you every week. So keep tuning in, folks, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, man, absolutely. For me, look, greenmountaindefense.com/training. Really love to have you come out. Happy to have you out in a private. Happy to have you out in a group class. We're teaching almost 20 group classes coming up over the next 10 months. That's a lot for me. 85 is a number that terrifies me beyond ends. I can't imagine doing what you're doing, dude. Good for you. But we're really thrilled to be bringing out the content that we're bringing out and the training quality that we've put up. Let's see. Thank you so much to our affiliate training organizations. I sell more of other people's classes than I sell of myself sometimes, and I don't give a shit. So here's one right here. Thank you so much to ModernSamuraiProject, Tim Heron Shooting, Apache Solutions, Gun Set Training, all the the PA crew, the Sam DeSimones and the Vigor Trainings of the world. You guys that are out there doing the good work and bringing people into the shooting sports, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing. And, in times like these, it can be real contentious, and we want to fight with each other. We want to argue. We want to do this and we want to do that. Man, everybody needs to relax a little bit and stop talking about the Civil War, because I promise you, from my experience, which is basically through my friends, none of us want to fucking do that. So stop it. Just stop with that stuff. Let's do what we can to build a good society and be good to each other. And anything else, right? You get out of it what you put in. So keep on pushing, keep on training, keep on doing the work. If there's something I can do to help you with that, great. And if that simply means pushing you to somebody who's a subject matter expert in something like red dots or whatever else, I'm very, very, very happy to do so. Looking forward to Scott. Thank you so much for coming on. Looking forward to hosting you twice this year and fucking forever in the future. You guys are screwed on that deal. You're out to like 2026. I don't know. On my calendar, it says you into like 2026. I don't know what the hell it says on Bev's, but we'll figure that out. Thanks so much, man. You get the last word, dude. This is your get it off your chest segment. So what do you got?
Oh no, good. Hey, good time hanging out with you guys, man. I'm sorry if I went on too many rants today. That's what happens when you hang out with cops on the range all day, right? No, sincerely enjoy it, man. Always dig hanging out with you guys. Yeah, that's basically it, man. I'll be on anytime you guys will have me. So
Appreciate your brother. So for the rest of you out there, God bless you all. Take care of each other. Until we see you again, get out and shoot.
Bye, guys.